Good evening to you, friends. The Edmonton Oilers news made today, of course. Well, a player claimed from the Boston Bruins. Interesting enough, another guy coming off a knee injury. The Oilers, a lot of positives coming out of a game against Tampa Bay last night. We look forward to Minnesota tomorrow. And I'm going to catch you up on all the latest going on with the Oilers, at least from the perspective I want to talk about tonight, right? This is kind of my gig after all. So let's do what I want to do here tonight and walk you through some of the things around the Edmonton Oilers today. The Oilers 16, 10, and 2 on the season. Friends, if you're new to the channel and haven't already jumped aboard, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. For those of you long term, I know, hey, if you're not subscribed and you continue to watch, I appreciate that all the same. Let's move on to what is actually item number 4 in my list here. Quite honestly, that's a weird way to put it, but oh man, these graphics are all messed up. If you've caught some other stuff I've been doing on the channel, let me enlarge that for you. So the Oilers, they acquired a new guy today off of waivers from the Boston Bruins, that being Alex Regula. Well, what do we know about him? He's appeared with the Chicago Blackhawks before, right? That's his last real NHL experience, 22 games. Regula is a big guy, I think coming in at 6'4", something like that. Big, rangy, as Bob Stauffer likes to describe, who has reach and playmaking ability. There is concern about his skating ability, so keep that in mind. I don't know necessarily if he's going to be a full-time NHLer. The Oilers have had luck turning guys with not the best skating that are big on the back end into full-time NHLers in a playoff run. Vinny Desharnais being the last prime example of that under Paul Coffey, but you get where I'm going there. And obviously, like I said, he's coming off a knee injury, so similar to Robbie Yerventi, who we picked up from Ottawa in that trade for, what was it, Jake Chiasson and Xavier Bourgault. Yeah, that trade, right? Obviously, we've had some not so great luck with Yerventi, who's still trying to work his way back. He did play a little bit with Bako, but not too much. And a guy in Regula who has some experience under him, drafted back in 18, so he's in his mid-20s now, and a guy that is capable of producing points, but again, Providence is usually, from what I understand out east, a pretty good AHL club. So with that, we'll kind of understand from there. Now, what I want to talk about the rest of the way home here, that's your 2.5-minute early update. That's what you came for. If you don't want to tune in anymore, that's fine. You can tune on out. But what I want you here for the rest of the way is not necessarily going as far as maybe some of the social media commenters last night talking about owing Mr. Stuart Skinner apologies or demanding him respect, whatever. The case might be for Stuart Skinner, over his past 5 games, he's been pretty incredible. When you've got a loss on your ledger in the past 4 games and you've got a .141 goals against average, a .947 save percentage, and a .933 high danger save percentage, so right there in that, what do they normally call it? Is it the trap? There's some kind of, you'll see it in the World Juniors. James Duffy and Bob McKenzie love talking about it. It's that area in front of the net, the trapezoid, the triangle, whatever they call it. I haven't watched enough World Juniors in the past 12 months. It's just about time, which you can watch live here on Dolynny TV, by the way. Live stream similar to how we do the Oilers games, but you see Stewie's getting going here. We love that. Then we move to here where Stuart Skinner's riding hot as well. He's getting going, but he's riding hot. Simply, Tampa Bay is one of a 5 group of 5. That'd be a better way to put it. Come on, Tice. English was not my strongest subject. If anyone's ever listened to me talk, you would know that, right? Even my written word's not great. Tampa Bay, St. Louis, Vegas, Colorado, New York Rangers. So let's just go over the past 5 years. I'm pretty sure in the past 5 years, all of those 4 teams, except for the Rangers, have won a cup, by the way. All of them have been substantially a good opposition to the Oilers team over the past 5 years. And New York's just New York. They're always going to be good because you can't be bad in that market. But you look at this from this range, .955 against Tampa Bay, a stellar game. I mean, Stu made more than enough saves to win that game, and then as well made a bunch of saves to win the game solely for his team. You know how, earlier in the season he wasn't making those. You just need one more save. You got about 5 of them last night. St. Louis, .935. Again, there's just a couple of things I'd like to change about that St. Louis game that went against Stu. The Vegas Golden Knights game, again, 1 goal against, a .938 save percentage. You lose 1-0. The offense stymied by the other goalie. Again, not at all acceptable to be shut out for a 4th time in the season. But again, your goalie wasn't your issue there. Colorado at .964. That game was a ton of fun to watch, by the way. And then as well, you have the .941 save percentage against the New York Rangers. Basically the Oilers all of a sudden are solving their goaltending problems here, and that's beautiful to see. As you go to the 10-D tandem for the Edmonton Oilers at current, going into tomorrow's action against the Minnesota Wild, Stuart Skinner's 3 games above the win-loss ratio, and of course, Calvin Pickard's right there with him. You've got a 52 goals against for Stewie, which comes out to a 281 goals against average, which, I'm sorry, if Stuart Skinner has a 281 goals against average in the regular season, the Oilers are going to win first place in the Pacific Division. And with that number steadily going down game in, game out over the last 5, if things continue, oh boy, we'll talk about that. And then, of course, 255 for Calvin Pickard. Good luck getting a goal off the Oilers here if this rides hot through into January. And suddenly, we make that update to the defense. We get that Evander Kane guy back. And oh boy, suddenly the Oilers become a whole nother team to play against with just 2 guys out of the lineup. Save percentage leaves a lot to be desired. But everybody's talking about how supreme Calvin Pickard is compared to Stuart Skinner. And all of a sudden, Skinner, who's trash terrible to start the year in terms of numbers, is above him in save percentage. So keep that in mind. Not trashing Pickard, just saying we got to appreciate that Stu is a valuable goalie. Again, if the Oilers saw fit, they would have traded all of Colorado, what they traded to San Jose, for Mackenzie Blackwood. That was not going to happen because Stuart Skinner just took you to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Figuring it out. Here's what I want to talk about to close out the program tonight. 3 goals per game for the Edmonton Oilers. So when we talked about the Oilers offense being broken about 2 weeks ago at this point, it was a very pointed attack at the fact that the Oilers just are not scoring enough goals to achieve the outcomes that this team, with the defense the way it is, with the depth forwards we have, that this team needs, right? You need to be scoring somewhere north of 3.45 per game just to achieve that first place result. The Oilers were toiling at about 2.82. They've worked that up to 3.00. Well, in the meantime, taking the goals against from above 305 to below 2.86. So you love to see it, right? The Oilers are currently the 8th best team in the NHL in goals against. Scratch your head how that's possible, given the start and not being able to get a stop on the penalty kill. The power play starting to come alive more broadly over the past month, I guess you could say. 20% on the year. Again, you kind of start figuring it out a little bit here. You ride hot. You get some other guys involved in the offense 5-on-5. Maybe McDavid and Draisaitl don't have to go out there and ride as hard in the game overall of 5-on-5. That allows them to skid around a little bit more freely on the power play. I don't know. I'm just BSing you at this point. I don't know actually what the solution is here, other than the fact that other NHL teams have figured this out. And with a 73.1% ranked penalty kill and climbing game in, game out, right? We were 31st at one point. We're now up to 27th. The Oilers are starting to figure it out. And that's what we expected. Again, I was saying the sky was falling, but again, the sky should have never had to fall at all this season. The Oilers promised us a better start. They promised us a first place finish in the division, right? They wanted to finish better than last year, and the only place to finish better than last year is first in the division. So, there was a lot of problems with how the Oilers started. We're now to 16-10-2. I'm not ready to forget and forgive yet, but obviously we're right on the right track, and a lot of the key indicators I've been harping about all season long here so far have started to be corrected. So, Stuart Skinner's back on his A game. Calvin Pickard's been giving you the goaltending you expect from him game in, game out, and above that. And then as well, you're starting to score goals. You're starting to shut down teams defensively. You're starting to see Darnell Nurse have that season that I said, you know what, he really needs to have if we want to take that next step. And, well, here we are right now. We are getting going here in December, and we got half a month thereabout worth of games, right, because of the Christmas break and all the jazz around the December 31st, January 1st time there. There's plenty of stuff that will definitely indicate where this team is headed into the new year, but halfway through the month, things are looking good. Friends, Thanks so much for being aboard here tonight. If you enjoyed today's episode, definitely make sure to leave a like on the video. Would appreciate that. And from there, that's the news. That really feels like a simple day, but I mean, there's other stuff I'm sure I could cover. Really don't care. Really don't care. We claimed the guy from Boston, and Stuart Skinner doing good. Team's starting to turn around. I want to focus on the simple things today, and that's what we've done. Have a great night. We'll chat with you if there's any breaking news. Until then, though, we'll talk to you tomorrow.